Today's class is about culture media. So, Department of Microbiology deals with the microorganisms, infections. So, various types of infection, various types of microorganism do cause various types of infection. So, Department of Microbiology, we collect suitable clinical specimens. We'll culture. That means we provide artificial culture media to facilitate the growth of various microorganisms so that we can identify those infective pathogens. Then we can do the AST method, that is antibiotic sensitivity test. So finally we can prescribe medicines or antibiotics to cure this bacterial infection. So this is the normal procedure protocol we do follow. In order to demonstrate the growth of this microorganism, we need to have these culture media, that is artificial supporting nutrients to grow these microorganism. We have various types of culture media. Let us discuss one by one. In such culture medias, we have first one, nutrient agar. So it is a simple medium. Nutrient agar media is called as simple medium. Its composition also very simple in nature. So it contains peptone, meat extract, yeast extract, sodium chloride, agar up to 2 to 3% agarose we have added while preparation of this medium, which forms the nutrient agar medium. So this medium is usually uses to demonstrate the colony morphology. So this nutrient agar medium usually is used to demonstrate the colony morphology of pathogens, to demonstrate the pigment production. Various certain types of microorganisms like Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas, they do produce certain pigment, diffusible pigments, so which can be demonstrated in this by using nutrient agar medium. So these Staphylococcus aureus usually produces golden yellow colored colonies, that is golden yellow pigment colonies. They are usually non-diffusible pigment. So in case of Pseudomonas aeruginosa, they do produce blue-green diffusible pigment. So these pigment production can be demonstrated by this simple medium called nutrient agar. So ultimately, these pigment production, colony morphology, everything will facilitate us to identify particular type of microorganisms associated with particular types of infection. Okay. So in case of nutrient agar means it contains solidifying agent called agar. So if you see the medium, if you say nutrient agar means definitely it contains agarose. Agarose is a seaweed which is used to which is incorporated into this medium to make a jellifying agent or jelly material. So it is called as solidifying agent. So in case of nutrient broth means it is same as nutrient agar media but without adding the agarose. So if you don't add any solidifying agent called agarose, now we call it as this medium as broth. Broth means it is liquid in nature. Agar means it is semi-solid or solid in nature. So we do have certain semi-solid nutrient agar, same as nutrient agar, whereas the concentration of the solidifying agent or gelling agent called agarose, we have reduced the concentration. So in case of semi-solid nutrient medium, we have added only zero point 0.5 from zero point 0.5 to 1% of these agarose. In case of solid medium, we have added 2 to 3%. Next we have peptone water. Again, it is a simplest medium. Its composition is it contains peptone and distilled water. Then we need to do autoclave. So this is the simple medium which used for biochemical reactions like indole test or preparation of inoculum for antibiotic sensitivity test. Once we get these culture isolates in this nutrient agar, what we will do, we will further proceed with biochemical reactions to confirm the pathogens and also To further, we will go for AST or ABST antibiotic susceptibility testing. To perform this testing, we need to have this peptone water where initially the inoculum we have taken and we have inoculated into this peptone water, and we will check it for McFarlane match. We will match with McFarlane and then we will proceed for ABST. That means AST, antibiotic sensitivity testing or antibiotic susceptibility testing. Next we have blood agar. It is called enriched media. It is nothing but a nutrient agar is mixed with a 5 to 10% of sheep blood. So that becomes a blood agar. It is also called enriched media. It is enriched with blood. So we call it as enriched media. It is also called as indicator media, where the hemolysis property shown by various certain types of bacteria can be demonstrated by this media called blood agar, where um, bacteria they produces they demonstrate they do have certain property called hemolysis property that we have categorized into alpha, beta, gamma hemolysis. In case of alpha hemolysis, there is a green zone around the colony. Typical example, we have strep viridans. We have beta hemolysis. There is a clear zone around the colony. This clearing zone usually produced by the Staphylococcus aureus. In case of gamma hemolysis, there is a no zone around this colony. We have enterococci. This blood agar is also used to cultivate fastidious bacteria like Streptococcus. So, so what are all fastidious bacteria? Some bacteria like Streptococcus, Staphylococcus, they require particular type of enriched media. So until unless you don't provide this enriched media, we cannot grow this and we cannot um, demonstrate this hemolysis property. Such bacteria we call it as fastidious. Don't mistaken that they are fast growing organism. They are fastidious means they require special type of nutrients like blood, if you blood or serum. If you provide these special type of nutrients to these culture media, it will enhances the this growth of these bacteria. That organism we call it as fastidious bacteria. Example for such fastidious bacteria we have Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus. So next we have chocolate agar. Don't mistake, we have not added any chocolate into this agar. It is just heated blood agar. If you prepare blood agar and if you overheat, then it becomes chocolate agar. It is also enriched media, where the composition is the nutrient agar is heated up to 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, and we have added 5 to 10% of sheep blood, and then the color turns from red to brown. That the color of the media we call it as chocolate. It resembles like a chocolate. That's why we call it as a chocolate. We have not added any chocolate to this agar. So this chocolate agar is used to cultivate fastidious bacteria like Haemophilus influenza, Corynebacterium diphtheria, Neisseria, and Streptococcus species. So next we have McConkey agar. So it is a differential and indicator media. Why do we call it as differential media or indicator media? So this McConkey agar can differentiate between lactose fermenters and non-lactose fermenters clearly by producing two types of colony. For lactose fermenters, it produces two pink colored colonies. In case of NLF or non-lactose fermenters, it produces colorless colony. So it aids or it facilitates us to differentiate between lactose fermenters and non-lactose fermenters. That's why this media is called differential media. It also it also has indicator called neutral red, which turns its colors upon fermentation by these bacteria. So that's why we call it as indicator media. So McConkey agar is also selective media. It allows growth of Enterobacteriaceae. So this McConkey agar we can call it as differential media. we can call it as indicator media, we can call it as selective media. Selective media, it mainly allows the growth of all the species of this Enterobacteriaceae. So what is the composition of this Mekong agar? We have peptone, lactose, we have agar acts as a solidifying agent, we have a neutral red which is an indicator, we have taurocolate, it is a selective agent. So what is the principle behind for this Mekong agar? So it contains lactose as a main constituent for this Mekong agar. So the lactose fermentation done by this bacteria leads to acid production. Once the acid is produced, thereby the neutral red changes its color to pinkish in color, so that the colonies which produced by these lactose fermenters looks like pinkish in color. Those are the bacteria which does not ferment this lactose. They remain as a colorless colony. They are called as non-lactose fermenters. That's why we call it as Mekong agar is a differential media where it clearly differentiates between lactose fermenters and non-lactose fermenter. In case of lactose fermenters, so usually they produce pinkish colored colonies. We have examples for Escherichia coli, Klebsiella species. In case of non-lactose fermenters or NLF, we have examples Shigella species, Salmonella species, Proteus, and Pseudomonas species. They usually produce non-lactose fermenters or NLF or colorless colonies. Up with these, we have another category of these colonies. They are called late lactose fermenters. Initially, they look like NLF. Upon further incubation, they produce late lactose fermenters. So initially, the day one, the colonies will be colorless. Upon the day two further incubation, the colonies will turn into pinkish in color. Those category of microorganism we call it as late lactose fermenters. In such late lactose fermenters, we have Vibrio cholerae. Based on the clinical history, you need to further incubate these NLF colonies to demonstrate late lactose fermentation. Okay. So next we have low flush serum slow. We abbreviated as LSS. So it is also enriched medium. It does not contain any agar. So we have serum added into this low flush serum slow. So serum acts as a solidifying agent for this medium. So this solidified by inspeciation. So this media stored in a screw cap bottle in the form of slants. This medium is used mainly for culturing of Corynebacterium diphtheria, which grows rapidly, and colonies can be seen within 6 to 8 hours, long before than other bacteria can grow. So this is the serum containing culture medium without agarose or agar. So it is usually used to cultivate this Corynebacterium diphtheria. The colony morphology will be initially small circular white colonies will be produced. Later it becomes large with a distinct yellow tint in this Aloe Okay. So next we have culture medium. We have brain heart infusion broth, abbreviated as BHI, brain heart infusion broth. As the name suggests, it contains brain heart of this beef. It has taken from beef, so the name suggested a brain heart infusion broth. It does not, as we said, the moment you heard broth means it does not contain any solidifying agent. So it is a brain heart infusion broth, and it is also enriched media used for isolation of bacteria or fungus from the blood. For in case of adult patient, we you need to have 50 to 100 ml of broth. So if you're suspecting any bacteremia, that is bacteria in blood, so in such cases you need to collect 5 to 10 ml of blood, and you need to inoculate into this brain heart infusion broth and keep it for incubation, then you should subculture to solid media to identify these pathogens. In case of pediatric group of patients, you need to have 25 to 30 ml of this BHI broth. So if you're suspecting any bacteremia, you should collect 2.5 to 3 ml of blood from these pediatric patients. So you need to subculture, you need to inoculate this into this brain heart infusion broth. Keep it for incubator. After incubation, you should subculture into solid medias like blood agar, chocolate agar, meconic agar to demonstrate these pathogens. So always you need to have blood and broth 1 is to 10, 1 is to 10 ratio. So why we are doing this concentration or dilution? The dilution is done to counteract the bactericidal action of blood like complement and antibodies to dilute the antibiotics in the blood. So usual incubation period is overnight, 16 to 18 hours. So primary and secondary subculture is done subsequently with the solid medias. So next we have milk agar. It is also a enriched media. 3% of nutrient agar is enriched with the cow's milk. So that becomes milk agar. It is used to enhance the pigment production by Staphylococcus. So this staphylococcal pigment or chemical composition, these are the pigments which are chemically similar to lipoprotein. They are allied to keratin. These are usually non-diffusible pigments. This pigment production can be enhanced by milk agar or glycerol monoacetate agar 1% addition. So once you are suspecting any staphylococcal aureus infection, so you should collect the proper clinical specimen. So if you're suspecting any staphylococcal or streptococcal, you must prepare milk agar and subculture into the clinical specimens are subcultured into milk agar to demonstrate the pigment production. So once you have subculture, you should incubate for 24 to 48 hours. Thereby, the pigment production by various organism or species. We have Staphylococcus aureus produces golden yellow pigment. Staphylococcus citrus will produce lemon yellow pigment. In case of Staphylococcus albus, there is no pigment production. So So next we have outside egg medium. It is an enriched medium. This nutrient agar with whole hen's egg. So it is a nutrient agar. It contains whole hen's egg. So this media stored in a screw cap bottle in the form of slants. These are Dorset egg medium. As the name suggests, it contains hen's egg. It is used to cultivate fastidious bacteria. It is also used to maintain bacterial subcultures. So next we have Robertson cooked meat medium, abbreviated as RCM. So as the name suggests, it contains cooked meat medium. So finely chopped red meat particles will be seen. It is anaerobic liquid medium containing meat particles. It is the nutrient broth with pre-digested fat-free cooked meat of a ox heart. So it contains pre-digested fat-free cooked meat of a ox heart. So 2 to 2.5 centimeter of meat particles are seen in this medium. So there is a overlay with a broth and a seal with a layer of sterile liquid paraffin. So what is the principle of anaerobiasis? Where these unsaturated fatty acids of meat utilizes the oxygen for auto-oxidation, thereby reducing agents in meat like glutathione, cysteine. So, how do we interpret the growth of these anaerobic bacteria? Interpretation, it follows like this. So in case of saccharlytic, that means if an organism is able to So interpretation becomes we can categorize into saccharolytic or proteolytic. If an organism is able to break down the sugars present in this media, where so it forms a fermentation process where the sugar fermentation turns this meat into pinkish color. So so in case of proteolytic, where the proteins are broken down by this organism, this pathogenic organism. In turn, this meat turns into black in color. So in case of saccharolytic, we have Clostridium perfringens. In case of proteolytic, we have Clostridium tetani. So that's how we use for this anaerobic organism. And based on the color changes, we can identify these initial pathogens. So we have salinate F broth. So it is a enriched medium. It is used for isolation of Salmonella and Shigella species from stool samples. They have substances like sodium acetate salinate incorporated in the media, which inhibit the growth of unwanted coliforms or commensal flora coliforms in the feces, and thereby it allows only the growth of organisms like Salmonella and Shigella species. So the composition of this salinate F broth is pancreatic digest of casein, lactose, sodium salinate, sodium phosphate. These are the composition. This salinate F broth is usually used for isolation of Salmonella and Shigella. So we have tetrathionate broth. It is also enriched medium. It is used for isolation of Salmonella from stool. So composition is for this tetrathionate broth. Composition is it has got peptone, bile salt, calcium carbonate, sodium thiosulfate, and the pH should be maintained for at 7.8. So the bile and tetrathionate in this media, which promotes the growth of Salmonella, but also inhibits the other coliforms or normal flora of this intestine and gram-positive bacteria. Thereby, it also enhances the identification of Salmonella species. So next we have alkaline peptone water. It is an enriched medium used to isolate Vibrio cholerae from stool. The composition is peptone water, distilled water. pH is 8.6. It is also can be used as a transport medium for these stool samples. It is ideal for hanging drop preparation, that is to demonstrate this motile bacteria or motility characteristics of this bacteria. So next we have LJ media, Lawson and Jensen medium. It is the selective medium for Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The culture more sensitive than microscopy. Thereby, we need to have some the suspected sputum sample should be subcultured into LJ medium. So it can detect up to minimum of 10 mycobacterial to 100 viable organism per ml of sputum. The composition of this LJ medium, we have coagulated hen's egg, aspergine, mineral salt solution, malachite green, glycerol, and sodium pyruvate. And pH should be maintained at 6.9. So this malachite green acts as a selective agent and gives the color to the medium. So it does not contain any solidifying agent like agarose. It is incorporated with a whole egg. So this egg acts as a solidifying agent. So the incubation period varies for various species of this microbacterium. Mycobacterium. In case of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, we need to provide incubation up to 6 to 8 weeks. In case of atypical mycobacteria, you can identify or you can see the growth within 1 week. So in case of colony morphology, so in case of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the colonies in LJ medium are dry, rough, raised, irregular colonies with wrinkled surfaces, and they are not easily emulsifiable, and there is a white buffy color. So the colonies are rough and tough in nature. In case of Mycobacterium bovis, they are usually colonies will be flat, smooth, moist, white colonies, and they are easily breakable. Next we have TCBS. So TCBS, it is called TCBS means thiosulfate citrate bile salt sucrose agar, abbreviated as TCBS, thiosulfate citrate bile salt sucrose agar. The composition of this TCBS, it contains sodium thiosulfate, it contains sodium citrate, selective agent like bile salt, it has sugar like sucrose, it has indicator called bromothiamyl blue. What is the principle behind of this TCBS? Oh, this media inhibits the growth of all other coliforms by the presence of this selective agent called bile salt. It kills all the coliforms or normal flora of intestine. Thereby, it allows the growth of only Vibrio species to grow. This Vibrio cholerae ferments this sucrose present in this TCBS, thereby which changes the indicator to yellow. So this bromothiamyl blue, in case of sucrose fermentation by this Vibrio cholerae, the colonies will be produced as yellow color. Hence, we see yellow colored colonies in the TCBS. This is the typical nature of Vibrio cholerae. In case of other Vibrio, so they are Vibrio parahemolyticus. They does not ferment sucrose. They remain as green in color. So that's why they are called non-sucrose fermenters. So this media is also called as selective media for culturing this Vibrio cholerae. So next we have Wilson and Blair medium. So it is a selective and indicator media for Salmonella species. It is also called as bismuth sulfate bile salt medium. So it contains lablemco, peptone, glucose, disodium phosphate, ferrous sulfate, bismuth sulfate indicator, and brilliant green, and also agarose. What is the principle behind of this using of this Wilson and Blair medium? So the bile salts in the medium inhibits the growth of other coliforms in the feces. Thereby, it allows only Salmonella to grow, and uh, the Salmonella reduces this bismuth sulfate bismuth sulfide, imparting a black metallic colored colonies. So usually these, in case of Salmonella growth, we can see jet black colored colonies with metallic sheen due to H2S production seen in all Salmonella species except Salmonella paratyphi A, which produces only green colored colonies, not the black colored, jet black colored colonies. So next we have Saprolite dextrose agar. It is a medium for selective for fungus due to high dextrose concentration and acidic pH, which is maintained at 5.6 to 5.5. So this media is made as a slants, and even we can prepare it as plates. It is used for cultivation of fungus. The composition of this SDA is it contains 2% of glucose, 1% of peptone, 2% of agar, and distilled water. This SDA can be made more selective in case of if you're suspecting any dermophytes. So this we can change this SDA into dermophyte to grow dermophytes by adding cycloheximidine and chloramphenicol into this media. Thereby, it kills all the other bacterial isolates. It facilitates only growth of these dermophytes. So that's all for today's class. So today's we have discussed various types of media and what are all the composition and various properties or uses of these media. In next class, we will discuss this culture medium with growth property. Okay, thank you.